One of the very important learning opportunities for simulations is because they're applied in teams, there's the opportunity to experiment with different group and team decision making techniques because the teams have got to make a lot of decisions, usually in quite a short time frame. Now, it's been said that the way a team decides to decide is the most important decision it will ever make, but quite often teams ignore this aspect altogether and just leap into the discussion about the content and meat of the decision. So at the beginning of a meeting, a good team leader should introduce the decisions which need to be made and then suggest and gain agreement on the decision-making method before the actual decision begins. The first one is called consensus. There's a consensus discussion and there's a time and place for that one. It's okay if you're not on any particular deadline, but if you're under tight pressure, consensus may not be practical. Second decision making method is majority rule. Effectively, you take a vote and you go with the majority. The third technique is minority rule, but this really means you've formed a subcommittee and you take the decision offline and give it to them. The fourth technique is called averaging, and averaging really works best where everybody's input is equal. There's no specific subject matter expertise required. It was made quite famous a number of years ago by the book The Wisdom of Crowds. And today, a business example of averaging is the Delphi technique, where you get everybody's views, but you discount the outliers. So averaging used well can be very effective, but it's generally about areas where no specific subject matter expertise is required and all views are equal. Then where expertise is required, you use the expert decision making technique where you find or hire an expert and you delegate the decision to them. Now that's a sign of a good team, that you know in this case we're going to have a decision in terms of who has the best knowledge on this topic, and we're going to delegate the decision to these people. That's a sign of a mature team. Then the sixth technique the authors refer to is authority rule without discussion. Now that sounds a bit like dictatorship, but it does have its place sometimes, and it's better to do this if the leader's already pretty much made up their mind. There's nothing worse than a leader who's made up their mind but has a big discussion and at the end they say, well, I'm still going to go with what I'd previously decided. That tends to demotivate a team. And the final technique is known as authority rule with discussion, where we're going to have a discussion, the leader's mind is open, but they're going to decide at the end of it.